The local from the publication gathering. Every night in the small bay sounds a summons, a pull, a need, a mandate to congregate. The faces still as headstones as they enter through its rusty arch, ready to walk its syrupy boards and rest on stools still warm from foretime. Name triumphant from Dullen's religious bard, the old bar creates character around its characters. The postman, the driver, the out-of-work actor, the undertaker avoiding the once ice cream maker. The hotelier, former soldier and dock hugged stout, in coaching consultation of the modern game state, inside they dream of sepia times, of conkers, pogs and marbles, of simpler lives, long closed inns and the price of suds. The air is chock full of brew and chat, the wisdoms of this and that. It's a multi-crew that occupies this joint. Coffin Dodgers nest just south of the rafters, spilling humdrum, blather and babble with lager-laced tongues, sharing news and ales, empty tales of empty days. Tomorrow's plans echo in hope of a new day, but same day. The round table reminds them of drinking at Arthur's, and they all face extinction at the next good frost. Each day evolves to a picture of itself. Time lapses in stills, again and again, same seat, same ale, same shirt, same tale, same frown around the socialist's nouns. At the bar, a squat weasel frets on heads on pints, measuring each pot's lid with acid eyes and a vulture's smile, returning to toast his extra dab with a toddler's buzz, while the bar staff dream of reading his prompt obituary. Each night he returns to sit with false friends, his real ones cupped in a shot glass. The drunks shuffle, needle and buffer a bladder's whistle, creaking down the old wooden stairs for ablutions, merging like zips with tourists baffled by Dinian and Merched, until the steps groan again and the empty ascend to refill a drinkery. In the corner, the butcher and undertaker people watch this debris, this botch and clutter, the lifelessness of life, its daughters and sons, the vain self-importance of flotsam and jetsam, unwanted parables of local folks, serial stories of local jokes. Each memoir fueled with beer's mirth and laced with privy fiction. The Lothario consoles celibates with anecdotes of fish, but it's been a while since he checked his bait. His mossy tales getting older each day, aging like forgotten cheese. The hip-broken street cleaner sits away from the dealer, while the 12-a-day sumper with his bottomless tanker responds with enunciation to unasked questions on music and places and part-recalled faces. His silvery skin blooddened by sun, his ivory cheapened, his narrated prescriptions never written down. A millionaire pigeon hovers over dinner plate remains, his eyes wide with slobber and lust and fuss, his heart always nourished by a free meal that could clog the hole made by absent self-esteem. From just around her caruncle, a one-eyed nurse spies on fossils swapping teeth and quarrel who had the better lunch. Each set, though, fits like a snug driver's glove, and were bought at the same discount shop's counter, The sweaty buzzard, domino-toothed and recedingly capped, reads the news to the pacific faces of the soon-to-be dead. This one wears more pocket pins than pattern on a shirt whose colour is long lost since last divorce. And the council worker at pulpit pontificates his deeds to bankrupt ears, while his flocked in sit-ins peek upwards throughout the champion's prose. The chasm of ignorance sprouts to abyss. The angular man returns with his wife. Her face is tough and spare of joy, like lipstick on an Easter Island head, and with all the warmth of an Arctic trout she's cleared more tables than last order's knell. They'll hold her Catholic commendation canticle by candle in a phone box, for all who love her to see her absolution. There's an art to dying well. Outside, the smoggy smokers work hard to form a buttermilk sky. There's a guzzler here who's just throat and legs, swaying like a landlocked pirate. His face is slate with saggy eyes, his smoking claw ready for another to grasp between bile-stained fingers. The big red shouty head who'll sleep when he's dead wears his rose face like a burnt heel's blister, and chokes on adolescence never swallowed. But every adult night of his rock and roll life, his legend cultivates through gossip and self-portrait. Through choice, the sun is falling now. In the garden they wait for its second wind, the rays reborn around the supermarket's concrete crown, 20 more minutes to sip, lament, bask and tan. At dusk, the clip-clop of a carriage clock procession, brass cockroach bound seeking delight. Some venture inside, avoiding the moth-eaten, and wilting in the arid stares, now and then exchanging smiles with the tiresome rooted. Princess is raspy and lopsided, belt champagne's feeble cousin, all aware of the brooding eyes, now gathering like mobs. The ambitious suitors peeling fractured lips of stalactites and stalagmites. There's not a catcher that hasn't been beaten or thrown back. The clock watcher, vanguard of the curfewed few, sits on tacks and pins wrapped in nettles and piles, and slugs down his last gulp, then breaks into canter to appease his cooking bride. He's got 3 minutes from puff to porch to save detention and castration. He gave up smoking long ago to make her happy, but knows it's just made his life longer. The night breathes like an old widow on pipe, each sound pronounced, each lane and alley bouncing its Pentecostal harmony of din, the granite channeled ghostly gossip of the residents' sins. Young lovers burrow in need into poorly lit crannies. Dew-drop-eyed and sticky-palmed, they flounder with glasses and grasps like chess pieces. Shaking with fear, he wants to make her feel so very special this lusty night. But she's been practicing mattress back for a while now. In his pocket he nurses a ring. His father told him he can't be happy forever. At last Carillion, the tavern turns to husk, now void of dwellers, empty chairs for empty tables, silent as Gull's jetty on the lapping, allayed bay. With the old gates now chained beneath its flaking bow, its congregation is scattered to the bay air like lint. The old tavern breathes and sighs, pulling curtains across its tired eyes. Each night, the moths return to their cherished lantern, this fermented hollow of oddments and remnants, leavings and unwanteds, where bugger all happens and bugger all changes.